Classism is as delusional as racism. When I was younger, I didn't think much of classism. My parents had gotten into the middle class, and I was like, cool, I got my own room, we're sailing. Now that I've made it back to the bottom, not the very bottom, but just on the edge, where every month or every week, I'm not sure how I'm making it, but I make it somehow. I realized while interacting with people, rich people, that they are as delusional as people who believe that race is real, that race is scientifically, biologically real, and holds up in nature. Classists are also like that. I have met people who think that someone should have enough income, have enough savings to have survived COVID pandemic of 2020 while also still having enough money to move to another state and have enough to produce a child, to produce and raise a healthy child. Maybe, probably definitely more than $100,000 for a family to survive a year of COVID if they lost their job, and then still after that to have a child. No. Most people do not have $100,000 in their savings account. They do not. And I know I think it's probably more to really live the life that he was talking about. They've made it a moral failing that people did not survive the shock of 2020. So that saying that most people are financially responsible, it's the individual's fault that they could not financially recover, that they even had to recover from 2020. All groups have people who are rich and poor. And all groups have, and by groups I'm talking about ethnic, racial groups, have people who are deluded enough to believe in race as a biological thing and not a social construct, and to believe that class implies morality. Just because you're rich does not mean you have a moral compass, does not mean you're disciplined. Just because you are poor does not mean you don't have a moral compass, does not mean you're not disciplined. A lot of this can mean family structure. Another assumption. Someone I saw said, you shouldn't go to therapy because you have a loving family to support you. I don't. Surprise, I don't have any biological family that is a strong enough familial support that I can go to. But your assumption is that everyone has what you have. And that's what it boils down to. The assumption that everyone has what you have, and therefore the standards you hold for yourself should be applied to everyone. Incorrect. Just untrue. What is most frightening about this reality, that classism is delusional, is that the more money you have, the more power you have. Meaning the people in power they do not have access to clear logic. They are straight up delusional and in charge of our fates. Frightening. Frightening that they're actually believing their own lies. It would be one thing if it's solely that they're trying to pull one over. They really hate people that are poor and they want to just stay rich. It's not just that. It is that, but it is also that they indoctrinate their children and breed other generations of people who believe this delusion that certain people were born to be rich and certain people were born to be poor, and that is just something that is fated, or that is something inherent to your character, to your personhood. Not that if you had certain resources you would do better in life, just that you were just not meant to. That is That is a problem. That is a real problem. We cannot trust, we cannot appeal to them with logic, is what I'm saying. That is the conclusion. If you do not try to reason with someone who is deluded. So we need to let go of appealing to someone's empathy. As we know, some of them just don't agree with the existence of empathy. We need another path.